everybody, and welcome in to the OnlyBets Sports Betting Podcast, special edition World Cup qualifiers for the UEFA and Interconfederational spots. As we are winding down towards the end here, getting ready for the World Cup. Going to be starting here in a few months, early June here. So we've got our final spots up for grabs here to make it to the World Cup. Taking place in the States here. Really excited to get into it. Let me go ahead and introduce my co-host, Mr. Stern Bets, Mr. Mosh. Good evening, brother. Glad to be back on with you. How's it going?
Yeah, I'm excited for tonight's show. I really didn't know much about World Cup qualifiers. I was semi-paying attention a few years back when it was going on last time. And I've been generally aware of it, but I hadn't dived in as deep as I did today and yesterday, knowing that it was coming up. So very excited to hear how everything works, bring that to the viewer, listeners. And then, to get into some best bets and some good value. It's going to be a fun tournament. I'm looking at the names and teams now. It's really going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And just for those of us, maybe we got some new listeners here. If we do, welcome in. Thanks for stopping in and tuning in to us. Real quick breakdown of how we got here. Right, so the qualification process is very long. It's probably the most authentic qualification process that you can have in all of sports. It's over a 3-year process. So the last World Cup was in 2022. So starting in 2023, teams start qualifying for the next World Cup. World Cup, of course, is every 4 years. So these teams have gone through a rigorous 3-year qualification process to get into the World Cup. So a lot of these teams here that we have in Europe finished either second place in their group, and so that's majority of the reasons why they have qualified for this home and away leg. It's kind of like a little mini bracket style here, where you got one home, one away, aggregate scoreline. The winner here will play the winner of another match in a little mini bracket, and then those winners will play each other in a one-off to determine who goes to the World Cup. So we're kind of in the World Cup qualifying semifinals, if you will, here in Europe, and so a lot of these teams here, quality sides, and really. Going to be some really, really interesting matchups here for sure. And then, of course, we got the interconfederational spots as well, and those have been determined by finishing in various positions within your confederation. So each confederation, you have Asia, you have Oceania, you have South America, North America. And those conferences or confederations, there rather, depending on what position you finish in, will determine if you qualify directly for the World Cup or if you have to go through an interconfederational playoff. So we do have those teams as well here that we'll be covering at the end of the show. But a lot of interesting matchups for sure. And these teams are going to want to go for it. And one thing I will tell you guys, as a soccer fan my whole life, someone who has played the game, has been very close to the game, there's nothing more passionate than international football. Nothing more dramatic. The scenes that you can get, a lot of these international matches are just unparalleled to anything else. And so I think we're in for a lot of exciting, drama-filled matches here that, nothing's bigger for these professionals than making the World Cup. So this is the pinnacle of a lot of these teams, players' careers, and a lot of these national teams as well.
Yeah, that's a lot of people talking about it. So I guess before we kind of get into it, unless you want to do it at the end, do you have any long shots or futures that you kind of want to sprinkle on here? I was kind of taking a look at the numbers, and some of them look kind of interesting.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you guys. Full disclosure, I haven't dug into it that much yet. I am planning on doing that, and for sure, we'll definitely have another World Cup show here as we get closer to the actual tournament here. Where I'll be covering some of my group favorites, futures to win it all, futures, different futures here to make it to the round of 16, and so on and so forth. So we'll cover those more extensively here, and probably in a couple of months as we get closer to the tournament. But just from a 30,000-foot view here. Some teams that I have my eye on. One for sure here that I think is being heavily undervalued. I really like this Norway team. I love this Norwegian team.
No way!
They ripped, they ripped through their qualification process. This is a team that has been on fire in Europe. One of the most prolific offensive attacks in all of Europe. Of course, with Holland up front, you have Sorloth. You have just a bevy of talent here in Norway. Odegaard in the middle. This is a very, very underrated Norwegian side, and I think last I checked, I want to say they were like plus 5,000 or something like that.
Oh no,
to
I
win
got
it
them at
all.
plus 2,500.
Okay, maybe even more. Yeah, I don't remember. Or less, I guess. But in any case, I don't remember the exact value, but I'm absolutely got my eye on them. Another team I got my eye on. And again, we're looking for value plays, right? Of course, you're gonna have the big dogs: Argentina, France, Germany, right? Those teams are always going to be your favorites. But if we look a little bit farther down the list here, another team that I'm kind of keeping an eye on would be Japan. Believe it or not, Japan is another very, very underrated team coming out of Asia. They play a very sound type of football. They're very organized. They're very disciplined. They're very tactical in the way that they play. And that's very adaptable to world football because they're fully comfortable on the ball. They're comfortable keeping possession. They're almost like a mini version of the those of you who know soccer, tiki taka, right? The tiki taka where you pass, you pass, you pass, you pass, you pass. Japan is very good at that. They're very good at moving off the ball. They're very good at finding the open gaps, finding the open spaces, and they're just very technically sound. And I think in an international tournament, that's going to do them well. And I like the talent on this Japanese side. So maybe another sleeper team, to put some some spare change on to win it all, or maybe to advance to maybe like a quarterfinal, semifinal, something like that. But I'm definitely keeping my eye on those two teams for now. And then, like I said, I'll dig into it more, and I'll give you guys some more solid plays as we get closer to the tournament.
All right, so the only team that I'm adding to this list is Ecuador. So I had put 0.25 units already on Norway. Looking at their efficiency metrics here, they're truly ultimate. They're really the ultimate dark horse. Like they're in every category, just like you said. And I found this at 25-1, so that's where I took it. But if you can get it for more, I mean, by all means, like that is, I think, the pick. I think that's the pick. And then I had 2.1 units bets that I put down on. One was on Ecuador and one was on Japan. Japan for exactly what you said. You're going to play highly um, structured football. You're going to probably do well, and that goes for Ecuador as well. If you have defense, and we've talked about this a lot, you can go far.
So how cool is that? We've got 40 teams that have already qualified for the World Cup, and of all those 40 teams, you and I landed on two of the exact same picks here
I'm
for sleeper
honestly
picks. I
speechless. I
love it. I
interrupted
love
you
it.
only because I couldn't believe that the first name out of your mouth was Norway. I mean,
That's unbelievable.
pun intended, what are the odds?
What are the odds exactly? Yeah, yeah, that's incredible. So that makes me feel a whole lot better about it. No doubt about it, man. And then to your Ecuador pick, you said Ecuador, right? That was your third team.
Yes, yeah.
Was it Ecuador? Okay. So with Ecuador for me, I'm with you in a sense because I would say mostly on the defensive side. Ecuador is a rock solid defensive team. Extremely hard to penetrate, extremely hard to get scoring chances on. In a way, for me, they're very hard to watch. Their games are hard to watch because there's just not a lot of action. They play a very negative style of football. They're not very expansive at all. They keep it very compact, but they're very good at it. And so, again, in an international competition, right, where you only got to win a few games to get out of your group, and then from then on, it's just a one-off. And so, if you can keep things tight, you're always going to have a chance. And I think Ecuador definitely fits the bill on that. I don't see them getting blown out in any games, but I also don't see them blowing anyone out either. So, I will tell you guys right now, unders are 100% in play for each and every single Ecuador match in the World Cup.
Cool. Yeah, I can definitely dig it. I was just looking at Norway had like the best offensive metrics. Ecuador had the best defensive metrics, and then Japan, I don't know, they just kind of fit the middle of the road of like a team that you're looking for to advance. All right, let's get into the games themselves. Why don't you kick us off? It's only single leg, right? There's no two legs. We're not traveling anywhere. This is a one and done.
No, no. Let
Um,
me let me let me
yeah,
interrupt
set
you
us up.
because
Set us up.
yeah, we are on two legs here actually.
Oh,
So,
sorry, my
uh,
bad. All right.
yeah, we do have two legs here. Between actually, you know what? I'm sorry. You are absolutely right. Um, take over for a sec, Most, real quick. Take over for a sec.
Oh yeah, no problem. I mean, like I'm really just learning about a lot of this along with the listeners, I guess. But um, essentially, what I see is ruthless single elimination, where every single game is really kind of do or die. And at this point, if it goes, I believe if it's tie after 90 minutes, it goes to an extra 30 minutes of an extra time. and then if it's still tied, then it goes into a shootout.
Yes, you're absolutely right. That's 100% correct.
Okay.
That's exactly where we're at right now. Yes, so it is a one-off. And to your point, exactly. If it goes into extra time here, of course the home team's going to have an advantage there. So that's obviously going to work to their benefit. And yeah, it even adds more drama to these matches here. And then of course the winners here will play each other on Tuesday for their spot in the World Cup. So we're not deciding the World Cup spots just yet. Like I said, this is kind of like a semifinal, and then the way the bracket lines up, the teams that win will end up playing each other in the final spot here to make the World Cup. So before
So
I get started here, I see Michael requested to speak. Michael, did you have anything for us? And thanks for jumping in.
Yeah. So basically, are we talking about UEFA World Cup qualifiers?
Yes, we are.
So it's higher team who is seeded will host semifinal, and if depending on who wins either semifinal game, um that team will host. It's one leg, 90-minute, tied after 90 minutes. We're going into extra time, 30 minutes of extra time. Then tied after that, we're going to penalties. And that's pretty much it.
Awesome. Okay, great. Yeah, that's kind of what we thought. So perfect. So we're in line with that. And yeah, you want to talk about drama? Can you imagine some of these games going to a penalty shootout here with a chance to get to the World Cup? That's just going to be incredible. An incredible atmosphere for sure for some of these matches. So, but yeah, Mosh, let me go ahead and get us kicked off then. Since we've got the background here taken care of here. So, I'm going to go in chronological order here. So we'll start off with the first match taking place. Again, these are taking place on Thursday, guys. So 1 p.m. Eastern kickoff here, where we have Turkey taking on Romania. Look, when Turkey plays, BTTS is always in play. This is the team that scores and concedes fairly regularly. The way they play is a very open style. The Turkish national team is very similar to a lot of the Turkish clubs teams, especially the higher club teams, in the sense that they play a very expansive type of football here. They're very open in the way that they play. I expect nothing less here in this one with Turkey here taking on Romania. I'm looking at BTTS here minus 110. This has hit in 4 of the last 5 for Romania, and it's also in 4 of the last 6 for Turkey. So I think whenever you have Turkey here, they're going to give you chances. Romania is going to have chances to score here, and I do think both teams are going to get on the board in this one.
cool. I like it. I definitely expect Turkey to be very aggressive. From what I can see, Romania has a lot of vulnerabilities, let's just say, and can be very much exploited. The expected shots and dangerous opportunities that Turkey has, I mean, it's just off the charts compared to Romania. So I saw value on Turkey -1 on the spread. And then I also took Turkey in a money line parlay, which we'll get to later. How do you feel about that bet? So basically, if they win just by 1, we get our money back. If they win by 2, we win the full bet.
Yeah, I love it. I think Turkey is the favorite here to win, and I would expect them to win this one. Michael, go ahead. What do you got for us?
So the winner of this match between Turkey and Romania will have to go on the road to either play Slovakia or Kosovo.
Okay, awesome. Good to know. All right, yeah, that's going to be an interesting match either way. But yeah, getting back to this one here. Yeah, I'm with you, Mosh. I think Turkey is the team that should be favored here. For me, guys, personally, I like to take plays that are if I find good value at low risk, I'll take it. So BTTS for me minus 110. That's a good enough price for me. So I'll be all over that. But I definitely think there could be 2, 3, or I should say more than 3 goals in this one. Really, I can see Turkey winning this one 3-1, 4-1, maybe 4-2. I can see a lot of goals in this one, or maybe even 2-0. But I don't think so. I think both teams get on the board. So,
No,
but
I see a lot of expected chances on both sides. Just the defensive structure of Romania just remains so vulnerable comparatively. That's where the play kind of kicked in. But I definitely
yeah,
do see a higher match. It's not like Turkey's perfect on the defensive front by any means.
not at all. No, not at all. Not by any means. That's a great way to put it. Yeah, Michael, what do you got?
And the winner of this group, of this Path C, of this bracket, will play the United States in the World Cup in this summer.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
That's
So
brutal.
as a U.S. fan, we don't want to see Turkey. Personally, I think we actually played a friendly against them. I believe it was a year ago. Didn't go too well for us. And I think Turkey will be a tough matchup for us, honestly. So hopefully, as an American fan here, we don't get them. But look, we're talking about betting here and making money. So I think Turkey should be the favored side here to get past Romania.
All right. I wanted to do a turkey sound, but I can't. So let's move on to the next game.
I'm trying to think. No, that's a. There you go.
I like.
Late night podcast, guys. This is what you get. All right, go ahead.
Can I lead, or do you want to like go into a specific game?
Yeah. You know what? I'll just carry us on here,
Yeah,
and then
go for
I'll
it.
throw it to you because I got a list here in order. So, all right, guys. So next up, we're gonna go to the 3:45 p.m. Eastern kickoffs, where we're gonna have all these matches taking place at the same time. So first up here, let's go to the matchup between Czechia taking on the Fighting Irish. Of course, this is not Notre Dame, though. This is the Republic of Ireland. And I think this one is going to be a fascinating matchup here. My heart says I want Ireland to win. I think it would be an awesome atmosphere here in the States to have all the, Irish fans, Irish pubs. I mean, there's nothing better than a drunken Irish fan supporting his team, right? So I would love to see that personally, but I think Czechia might get this one done here. I'm taking Czechia on the money line here, plus 100. Main reason for that is Ireland's away form. They are just not a very good team when they have to travel away from Dublin. Ireland, they're winless in 12 of their last 17 away matches. Meanwhile, Czechia, rock solid at home, have actually won 12 of their last 15 at home. So this is a Czechia side that is an excellent form at home. If this match was in Dublin, I would favor Ireland. But unfortunately, with it being outside of Dublin here, Ireland, again, not a very good team on the road. I'm going to take Czechia here on the money line plus 100.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I couldn't get behind a single play here. What I did was I took them to qualify. So even if they win in a shootout, I would still cash, and I parlayed that with a play that we'll get to in a little bit.
Yeah, that's a great look as well. Yep, I'm with you on that. I think there's value in that as well. Okay, next up, let's go keep it moving here. We're going to look at the match between Wales, the Welsh here, taking on Bosnia and Herzegovina. I like Wales here. I like Wales to score some goals. I'm looking at their team total over 1.5. You're gonna get that plus 105. When we're looking at Bosnia, this is an older side in Bosnia. They're relying heavily on a lot of the old guard here for the Bosnians. And this is a fascinating stat I came across here. 72 of the last 90 goals for Bosnia have come from one player, Edin Dzeko. They are so heavily reliant on him to score goals that if he doesn't score, they don't score. It's almost at that level. And so if you're looking for any goal scorer props, if you think Bosnia is getting on the board, of course, you got to go with Edin Dzeko here, anytime goal scorer. Maybe worth a little bit of a sprinkle here. Wales is very likely to concede at any point, so I could see that potentially happening. But for me here, I just like Wales team total over 1.5. We're looking at Bosnia. They've allowed 2+ in 5 of their last 6 matches. We're also looking at Wales. They've scored 2+ in 5 of their last 6 home matches. So Wales in good form. They're a very good team, underrated team, another underrated team here out of Europe. They got a lot of quality side, a lot of players playing in top leagues around the world, specifically in the Premier League. And so I think this Welsh team can put a couple goals against an older Bosnian team that's a little bit too heavily reliant on the old guard, in my opinion.
Wow, we got to share sources, or maybe we shouldn't. Yeah, I took Wales to qualify as the second leg of that parlay with the Czech Republic, and I got that for plus 118, which I thought was phenomenal value for getting these two teams together. I did have a half of mine of just putting a quarter unit on both teams on the money line, but the plus 118 kind of called out to me, so I put a half a unit on Wales and the Czech Republic to both qualify. I think you said it perfectly. So yeah, nothing else to add there.
Yep, and I think you said it perfectly too. I'm with you. That's a great look and a solid play. And the next up here, let's go to the one that I think everyone's probably most interested in here. The Azzurri, the Italians here, taking on Northern Ireland. Is Italy going to miss 3 World Cups in a row? Are they really going to do it? I don't know. They might. But what I like here is BTTS plus 135. The Italians are not the same defensive juggernaut that they used to be from years past. This is a very leaky defensive side that is capable of conceding goals at any moment. And I do think Northern Ireland has just enough quality here to get a goal against the Italians. So I expect Italy, of course, to score at home. So I do think BTTS is a favorable play here, plus 135. This has hit in 3 of the last 5 for the Italians. And it's also for Northern Ireland, rather. They have scored in 8 of their last 11 away matches. So this is another underrated side here in Northern Ireland. Most people don't know much about Northern Ireland because they just don't really have a rich soccer tradition, really. But look, I will tell you guys right now, you want to talk about a pressure cooker here. If the Italians don't score early, the longer this game goes, without Italy scoring, you better believe that atmosphere, that environment, that stadium, you are going to hear a pin drop. It is going to be such unbelievable pressure on these Italians. It would be a national disaster if they didn't make the World Cup for a third straight year. If they were to miss the World Cup for 12 straight years, it would just be unfathomable for a team that has won multiple World Cups, that is widely regarded as maybe a top 5 footballing nation in the world. So a lot of pressure on the Italians. I don't know if they have enough to get over the line here. I'm scared to take them. I'm hesitant. I'm also hesitant to take Northern Ireland. I have no idea which way this is going to go, but I do think both teams score. So BTTS plus 135 for me.
Yeah, I don't mind that, I guess. I didn't want to mess with Northern Ireland. I do see that they're doing well domestically, or I guess I should say in the other, in their past games. But I mean, this is just a pissed off Italy team. So I took them on the -1. Again, if they win by 2, I cash. If they just win by 1, I get my money back. But I got that at -120, and I put a half unit on it. And I also took them on a money line parlay with one more team that's going to be coming up later.
Okay, yeah, you're a braver man than me. And this Italian team, this Italian team should have been pissed off for the last 11 years. What's taking them so long? Is my question. But but in any case, I hear you and I get it. And the books obviously think Italy should win. I think they're like -350 on the money line. So obviously the books favor the Italians pretty heavily here. But
So I
I
do
don't
have
trust them.
them. I hear you, but I do have them ranked pretty high defensively. Their underlying metrics show that they have a 62 possession rate, they have a 94.1 passing accuracy, and combined with Northern Ireland's, I guess, less than stellar league, I guess I would say. Like where they're coming from is not necessarily the same level as Italy, so the drop off kind of hurt them in my rankings.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, if you can't compare the two footballing nations in terms of their heritage, their history, and their domestic leagues, right? But yeah, let's see. Really going to be interesting. I hope the Italians do it. I think the World Cup is better with
That's not
Italy in
what you
it.
want to hear. I hope you do it, big guy.
You can do it. You can do it. A little engine that could. I don't know, but yeah, I think the World Cup would be better with them in it. And no offense to Northern Ireland, but I think most people would rather see the Italians play than Northern Ireland. I'm sorry, but
Yeah, and it would
that's
help our
just
juice our odds for other long shots.
yeah, exactly, 100%. So, but we'll see what happens there. But let's go ahead and move it along here. Next up, this one's not as interesting to me, but we'll cover it anyway. Denmark are going to be hosting North Macedonia. Uh, Denmark bottled it, didn't they? They had a chance against Scotland on the final match there. All they had to do was get a result, and they didn't. That saw Scotland qualify automatically. Actually, Denmark, their last international window in qualifying was a disaster. I believe the match before that they drew at Belarus, which really put them in a dangerous situation. And then they bottled it completely in the final match at Scotland. So Denmark, unfortunate to be here. But I do think they're the far superior side here to North Macedonia. Macedonia coming off of a blowout loss. I believe they lost 7-1 in their last match against, I want to say it was Germany, if I'm not mistaken. It might have been a different team. Forgive me for getting that wrong, but I know they got blown up by a lot. And I just don't think North Macedonia really have much to offer here. I like Denmark here on an Asian handicap -1.5 on the spread. You're gonna get that around -120.
All right, yeah, I can dig it. I can see this game kind of going that way. Should definitely be the expected path. This was one game where I don't have a bet in, only, and correct me if I'm wrong, but they beat Italy in 2022 in this exact spot.
Yes, yes, they did.
So
They're known as the Italian killers. I don't know, whatever you want to call them, but yeah, they did.
So I don't know, combined with like Denmark's shakiness as of late. Granted, like I mean, if you're looking at the long shot odds of who's going to win it all, they're right next to Norway. I think they're plus 1700 or something like that. So they're definitely up there in terms of people's expectations. But combined with their recent shakiness and North Macedonia's history of being able to execute kind of in these big situations, I didn't want to take a side.
Yeah, I hear it. I get it. Yeah, that is one. That is the only accolade that North Macedonia have had recently. So that is their claim to fame, and they're going to hold on to it. And hey, you're going to keep it alive for them. So let's see.
One more game. If they get blown
One
out,
more
I'm never
game.
going to trust them again. Like it's over. It was a Cinderella story. It was good. It was just,
Yeah.
I don't know. There was too many fishy things here for me to really go with this side. But I mean, I'm going to be playing and rooting for Denmark now on the -1.5 Asian line. So
Yeah, no, I got you for sure. It's a tricky one, but yeah, I think Denmark just a little bit better than Macedonia. All right, next up, let's go to the matchup between Poland. The Polish here taking on Albania. This is an interesting one for me. Another interesting matchup here. I don't think we're going to see a lot of goals, guys. I think this one's going to be pretty cagey. Under two here, plus 100 for me is the way that I'm going to be attacking this one. We're looking at this under two. It has hit or pushed in 12 of the last 15 matches for Albania. It's also hit or pushed in 7 of the last 10 matches for Poland. You want to talk about a Polish side here that is, again, another one of these aging European teams that is a little bit too reliant on the old guard. Lewandowski's not the same player he used to be. He's on his way to MLS pretty soon, hopefully to my Chicago Fire. Stay tuned for that. But in any case here, I don't really think Poland offers much, to be honest with you guys. I think they're a very mid team in Europe. And when you're looking at Albania, what they lack in talent, they make up for it in effort. And so this is a team that's very gritty. They're going to fight for every blade on the grass. They're going to be very physical. I would look at cards in this one. If anyone wants to play any cards props, whatever those props are, I would look at over in cards. I would look at over in fouls. That's just typically the way Albania plays. They like to muck it up. They like to make it real frustrating for the other team. And then maybe they'll hit you on a counterattack and potentially score a goal and win the match. But I honestly could see this one ending 0-0 and going all the way into a shootout. I don't see goals in this one at all. So officially here, I'm on the under 2 plus 100.
yeah, I like that a lot. I just targeted Albania's team total under 1.5 as a parlay piece.
Yeah, solid look as well. Albania definitely struggle to score goals on a consistent level. So always a safe bet when you want to play their unders on team totals. Right, next up, let's go to another game that I also think is going to be another low scoring one here. Slovakia taking on Kosovo. Again, I'm on the under two here, guys. -115. Again, I don't think we're going to see a lot of goals in this one. These are two very defensive oriented teams. Now, I will say Kosovo. One of the Cinderella teams to make it this far in the qualification process. They're undefeated in 5 straight, so they are on a little bit of a streak here. If you want to take them on a draw no bet, you probably could. I stayed away from the side here because honestly, I don't trust either one of these sides to win or lose, really. So I don't really know what to make of it. But what I am pretty certain of is that we're not going to see a lot of goals with two sides that struggle to generate offensive chances here. So under two for me, -115.
Yep, I'm on the same page here. I took the first half under 1.5 goals as a parlay piece. I just don't see anything moving very fast, at least.
Yep, I'm with you on that. All right, and then finally here for Europe, this one is probably going to be the most entertaining one in my opinion. Ukraine hosting Sweden. These are two attacking sides here, two teams that like to get after it, two teams that love to play on the front foot, and I think we're going to see a lot of goals here. Both teams are scoring over 2.5. I cannot believe we're getting this a plus money here, plus 135. I am all over this. This might be my favorite play of the entire European slate. These are just two teams that are very suspect defensively. And are very prolific scoring. Honestly, they have a lot of great goal scorers on both sides. And I think we're just in for a shootout here. And I really can't see anything less than BTTS and over 2.5.
Absolutely love it. I took this game in 2 different parlays over 1.5 goals. Just
Yeah.
didn't want to deal with the BTTS. Didn't want. I just know that both of these teams are going to be pushing. Both of
Yep.
these teams are defensively flawed. Everything
Yep.
in this game screams goals, and I'm just going to take the. Sorry, I took the over 2, so I need actually 3 to cash.
Yeah. I
In
think you
one
should
of
be.
them, and I took the over 1.5 in the other parlay.
Yeah, I think you should be safe there. I think we see a minimum of 3 goals on this one. Sweden, by the way, interesting how they got here. They actually had a horrible qualifying process, but FIFA has tried to increase the importance of the Nations League, and so because of their standing in the Nations League, which that's a whole other topic. If you guys don't know what that is, I'm not going to get into it now. But basically, it's like a glorified friendlies, right? Because of their position in the Nations League, they were granted a auto spot, if you will. It's kind of like in college basketball, you get the auto bids and you get the at-large bids. I guess Sweden was given an at-large bid, I guess, in a sense. I don't know how you would explain it. Maybe that's a bad parallel. But in any case, in most qualifying processes, they wouldn't have made it here. But because of a technicality, they did. But I think that's going to lead to a fun match anyway. And I think we're going to see a lot of goals. That's it for Europe. Let's go ahead and unless you had anything else to add for Europe, we can go ahead and move on to the interconfederational spots here for the World Cup qualifying.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm not keeping track of all my plays that haven't gone through, but we'll do a recap at the end. We're just giving our best looks for the game for each game individually, anyway.
Yep, absolutely. Okay, cool. All right, so these ones, guys, I think I'm most interested in of all the matches here. We're going to the interconfederation playoff spots here for the World Cup. Now, again, as we mentioned earlier, these teams finished in various positions in their confederation. That's how we got to this point. And so first up here, we got a 6 p.m. Eastern kickoff. By the way, guys, both of these matches are going to be taking place in Mexico. In Guadalajara, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong, Michael. But in any case here, they're both going to be playing in that same venue. And first up, we got Bolivia. Representing South America here, finished 7th in CONMEBOL. Again, there's 10 teams, so it's not exactly a great campaign, but again, with the expanded World Cup going into 48 teams, this is what happens. So you have the 7th place team from South America here in Bolivia taking on Suriname. Suriname, unfortunate to be here, but at the same time fortunate. Why? Because they entered the last match day in first place, in position to directly qualify for the World Cup. However, unfortunately, they did bottle it at the end. They lost to Guatemala 3-1. That loss kind of knocked them out of the automatic qualifying position. But what was even more amazing is they got not a last minute, but a late goal. And that goal actually saw them advance to this qualifying spot. So the game was already 3-0. It was already done and dusted. But Suriname getting a late goal that seemed meaningless at the point actually was the difference in them getting to this qualification spot here in the playoffs. So interesting little tidbit here, but nevertheless, this is what we have. Guys, I think the wrong team's favorite here. I don't get it. I'm going to take Suriname here on a draw no bet, plus 120. Quite frankly, I think Suriname's a better team. And the reason for that being is Bolivia. They are absolutely putrid on the road, away from El Alto, which, by the way, guys, El Alto, the highest elevation city in the world. Bolivia plays their home matches there. We're talking about 13,000, 14,000 feet above sea level. And so when teams go to play there, they struggle. They struggle tremendously. And so it's not so much that Bolivia is the better team. It's just that the other team, quite frankly, you can't breathe, right? They're just not used to that type of altitude. And so they've gotten great results against teams that they're probably much inferior to. But teams go to El Alto, to Bolivia, and they just suffer tremendously. But anytime Bolivia has to go outside of their country and play anywhere else in the world, they struggle tremendously. And so, given their poor away form here, I'm going to back Suriname here. I think Suriname's a better team. I would absolutely sprinkle on the money line. But for me, getting plus money with the draw insurance, I'll take them on a draw no bet here, plus 120. Michael, I saw you kind of unmute yourself. Did you have anything to add for this game?
So this Bolivia Suriname match will actually take place in Monterrey at where Monterrey plays in so in the other matches will The other group will play at where Chivas is playing at.
Okay, yeah, I knew one of them was in Guadalajara. I couldn't remember which one. So, okay, cool. So this one's in Monterrey. Yeah. In any case, and Monterrey has some elevation to it, but it's nothing like the elevation that Bolivia
Correct.
plays in. You're right in there. Yeah, not even close. So, yeah, I don't. Oh, excuse me, guys. I don't think it's going to make that much of a difference here in terms of the minimal elevation, but yeah, Suriname drawing a bet for me. Mosh, you got anything?
Yeah, I'm on the same boat as you. I found a lot of value on Suriname, and I couldn't. I wanted to play the double chance. I really thought that that was going to be a playable number, but apparently the public is kind of wise enough to this already. I played the
Yeah, I looked at
plus.
it too. Sorry, yeah, I looked at it too. It's a little too juiced, but yeah, go ahead.
So I did the next best thing. I took the +1 at -163 at a half a unit, and I was just like, all right, you know what? I'm not going to pay the -150. I'll just, you know what I mean? Like, I'll just juice it a little bit more, but I'll also get further insurance. So even if they lose the game, I'll at least get my money back if they lose just by one. And I really, honestly, I think that they win this outright. So I'm happy that you have the draw no bet so that I can bet that as well.
Yeah, solid play for sure. Like I said, anytime you're gonna get insurance against a loss, that's always a good angle to play. But yeah, like I said, I just think I think we're in agreement here. Surname's a better team. And sorry, I had another thought. I lost my train of thought. Maybe I'll get back to it. Anything else on this game, Mosh? Let me think about. I'm trying to think what else was say good.
Yeah, no, it's just the elevation, their road record is just atrocious. It's absolutely atrocious. One
Oh, I remember
win.
what I was gonna say. Sorry. Sorry to cut you off before before I lose my thought again. Yeah, another thing though, guys, I don't know in terms of the scoring, I don't know which way to play this total. I can see this being a low scoring game, but I could also see this being a high scoring game. My problem with the total here is I do think both teams are gonna create a lot of chances, but both teams are not very clinical in finishing their chances. And so I worry if we're actually going to see the goals or not, just based on their kind of lack of finishing, if you will. But I do think we're going to see a lot of chances for both sides. So, yeah, I just want to make that statement and say that, I would stay away from the total personally myself.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you as well there. Neither of these are the cream of the crop, so to speak. Just for reference here, in Bolivia's road record here in qualifying, they have 1 win, 0 draws, 8 losses, and they've conceded 28 goals in
They're
those
horrible.
games.
They're putrid. They're one of the worst teams in the world, guys. I'm sorry. Shout out to the Bolivians. I love Bolivia. I love their food. I love their team. But look, no, sorry. I shouldn't say I love their team. I love their fans. Is what I meant to say. I don't love their team at all. Clearly, it's just at home is night and day. This team probably has the biggest home away splits from any international team in the world, and that home field advantage is by far and away the best home field advantage in all of the world. Teams have petitioned to FIFA, petitioning for them to not be allowed to play their games there because of the health risks that they say it poses. But guess what? That's never going to happen because in international football, as long as it's within your borders, you're going to be able to play. So I don't see that ever changing, and it's just a massive home field advantage for Bolivia. And I think it kind of overvalues their team, right? And another thing I will say, guys, real quick before we move on, Bolivia coming off of a 1-0 win to Brazil, right? And so if you're just looking at the numbers, you say, okay, Bolivia beat Brazil 1-0. Suriname lost to Guatemala 3-1, right? And if you factor that in, right, I think that may have some impact on the line here, why we're seeing Bolivia as a favorite. But I don't see it personally, and I think Suriname is the side here, and I think they're a better team. All right, let's keep it moving here. The final game here. The most interesting one, depending on what you call interesting, 11 p.m. Eastern, New Caledonia, representing the Oceania region. The first time ever here that Oceania has been granted 2 spots into the World Cup. Now, I say 2 spots as in potentially qualifying, right? So one is an automatic qualification, which, guys, that will always be New Zealand as long as they're competing in Oceania. I hope at some point for the Oceania region that New Zealand decides to go to the Asian Confederation like Australia did, because I don't see from a competitive standpoint, I mean, yeah, you're going to make the World Cup every single year that it's there, but from a competitive standpoint, I don't. It feels wrong to me. New Zealand's just vastly more developed. They're just more funded. They're just more supported than these all of the other Oceania smaller nations, smaller islands in the region. So it's kind of unfair, but in any case, here, because of the expanded World Cup, we were given a second spot in the Oceania region, which is given an opportunity to qualify through the Interconfederational playoffs. So that is New Caledonia. They lost to New Zealand 3-0 in the Oceania final. I will tell you guys that 3-0 scoreline is extremely flattering to New Caledonia. It should have been 8, 9, 10. It was a miracle. I watched the game in its entirety. It was a miracle that New Zealand didn't put in 5, 6, 7 goals at the half. It was just it's something I've almost never seen before. The amount of misses, the crazy things that were happening for them not to score. So I think that score line is definitely impacting the line here between New Caledonia and Jamaica. Sorry, guys, I forgot to get to the second team in this matchup. It is Jamaica. So we're looking at New Caledonia and Jamaica. And I think Jamaica is being disrespected here. I absolutely love Jamaica here on a -2.5, -3 combo here on the Asian spread. You're gonna get that at -111, guys. This is amateurs against professionals, and I mean that in every sense of the word. The best players, guys, on New Caledonia play in the fourth and fifth division of France. Repeat that. Fourth and fifth division of France. These are part-time players. These are not guys who are capable of going 90 minutes with a team full of professionals who are playing in top flight leagues around the world. Now, everyone can say what they want about Jamaica and their failures in CONCACAF and their always seem to let you down, right? They always seem to. I call them the Dallas Cowboys of the CONCACAF region, right? There's always high expectations around them, and then before you know it, one way or another, they always seem to fail. But guys, this is a amateur side. This is an amateur side we're looking at here in New Caledonia. And the only reason they're here is because FIFA has granted a second spot to a region that, quite frankly, would get destroyed by every other region in the world. So shout out to New Caledonia. Congrats. They made it fair and square. But I don't see any way that they're going to keep this one competitive here. I was expecting this to be around -4, -4.5 when it came out. When I saw it and it was -2, -3, I put a substantial amount of money on it. So I'm not telling you guys what to do in terms of that, how much to bet. Always bet responsibly. But officially here, Jamaica -2.5, -3, -111 for me.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I took them on a money line parlay. That finishes up the money line parlay that I was talking about earlier. I'll wrap that up in a minute. I also took them in a -1.5 spread to go along with the Ukraine, Sweden over 1.5, and Albania team total under 1.5. Yeah, I mean, you said it perfectly. I don't. this is going to be ugly.
I don't get it. Yeah, I don't get it. I'm shocked. I'm shocked the spread is so low. I literally was expecting to open my book, see the line, and see Jamaica -4.5, -5. I don't get it. I think the books are highly underrating Jamaica. Now I know Jamaica. Look, Jamaica has their problems, not just on the team, but just federationally. Right? They're kind of a mess in their federation. They got a lot of moving parts and a lot of dysfunction within the Jamaican ranks here. But again, we're just talking about two different levels of skill here. And I don't care how much dysfunction you have when you go out on the pitch and you have a chance to make a World Cup, you're going to be fully focused on that and nothing else. And these players are going to be fully invested, fully engaged. You don't have to worry about any kind of a letdown or any kind of a distraction here. They've heard all the noise. They've heard all the criticism about their team, and their what better team to take it out on against a semi-pro team that honestly, let's just be frank, they really don't belong to be at this level. So, yep, I think Jamaica's in a smash spot here. If you want to take them on a first half kind of spread as well, I don't hate it. I'll probably be looking at that as well.
Yeah. Yep. And yeah, there's nothing else to add there. This is going to be a closed book. I 100% agree with you. I have recently reworked my model to look for underdogs and true value to see if the public is overvaluing favorites. I have found none of that bias here. I think it's very properly favored.
Mosh, there's nothing New Caledonia does great. I mean, I can't, I'm sorry. I hate to keep dogging on them. There's absolutely nothing that they do great. They're not a great defensive team. They're not a great scoring team. They don't keep possession. They're not like there's nothing they do. Jamaica just outpowers them in every single metric. I'm sorry, guys. I'll stop waxing Jamaica, waxing poetic on Jamaica here. But I'm just shocked. I'm just shocked by the disrespect here, and I can't get over it. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Look, I'll come on our next show, and I'll bite the bullet here, and I'll say I was totally wrong. If New Caledonia somehow keeps it within 1 or 2 goals, then you know what, so be it. But I don't see it at all. So that's all. I'm not gonna say anything else about it. I promise.
All right. Is there anything live that we should be looking out for? We just covered all the games if anybody is curious here, but what can we expect looking forward? Is there anything to kind of look out for live betting opportunities, long shots that we should be focused on? I know we talked about it earlier at the beginning of the show. You mentioned Japan and Norway, which I absolutely love those two teams. I don't know. I guess opening the floor to anything else. And if anyone has any questions, please come in and ask. But yeah, Prince, what do you got for us? More than just, the simple game plan.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. No, I mean, live plays, guys. Take a look at all these, right? And the ones that we're looking at goals. Obviously, if you don't see goals early, those are the ones you're going to want to bet to see goals. I think if we see an early goal, in some of these matches, especially I would say if the road team scores first. Then you're going to want to try to play probably overs because the home team is not going to want to lose at home with a chance to qualify for the World Cup. That's maybe another angle to look at here. And then also, guys, we have quite a few bit of friendlies that are taking place. A lot of these lines have not come out yet. I'm hoping that they will drop here within the next 24 hours. But we actually have another new little, I don't want to say tournament, but it's sort of a tournament here. It's called the FIFA series. And basically it's like I would say a mini tournament here at 6 different venues, featuring teams of a similar caliber, right? So if their world ranking is within a certain amount of numbers within each other, they'll be placed in the same group. So it's kind of what it is basically, long story short, is it's a way to get international matches between teams that maybe wouldn't be able to either financially, logistically, things like that. And so it kind of helps the development of a lot of these smaller teams. And specifically for smaller teams, you have some bigger name teams here: Australia, Cameroon, to name a couple here, Chile, Finland, right? So some bigger names, I would say, but predominantly it's a lot of these smaller teams. And guys, those of you who've been following me for a while, you guys know what do I always say? I love the slums of international football. That is where I make my money. That is where the cream of the crop is for me, because I think you can find a lot of advantageous spots and positions with matches that are less covered, and so you don't see as much line movement on them, and you also see a variation of odds on different books, and so you can get a really good price on a lot of these lower quality games, I would say. And so a couple lines I'm waiting for here. I'm hoping some book will come out with one. We got a group here in the FIFA series featuring, get this, guys, Puerto Rico, Guam, U.S. Virgin Islands, and American Samoa. You want to talk about the slums of international football? That is it right there. Puerto Rico should be heavily favored to win this little mini tournament. But what I'm waiting for here is a line on American Samoa and U.S. Virgin Islands. I think U.S. Virgin Islands should win this one. I think this is one of the few times you can actually take U.S. Virgin Islands to win a game. American Samoa have just been in a complete disarray, really ever since the pandemic, just as a country in general. And their national team has played just a handful of international matches within the last 6 years, so they don't really have much experience with each other. And so if we get a line, any kind of a line on that one, if it's playable for U.S. Virgin Islands to win, I would play that for sure. Other matches here. Again, we're looking at the slums here. We got a group here with Aruba, Liechtenstein, Macau, Tanzania, right? These are the games that we want to attack. So, I'll look at those lines as well and see if I can find any kind of advantageous positions there. Again, guys, a lot of these lines aren't out yet, so I really can't give you any specific odds. I just know for sure that the American Samoa, U.S. Virgin Island ones is a line that I've been waiting on for a while. So hopefully some book is brave enough to put a line out there so we can make some money.
Yeah, that's also a problem with betting early. Like we're 2 days early right now on this tournament, and a lot of times in these far out matches, a lot of books are nervous to put out lines that the public could kind of hammer. So they usually wait until the last minute, and obviously it's hard to plan ahead for those things. So yeah, hopefully they drop them soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Because yeah, let me tell you guys, there's some money to be made here. We just we got to find the right book and find the right price, and we can definitely find ourselves into some advantageous positions, I would say. But no, other than that, we do have some other friendlies between some bigger nations, guys. I'll be covering all those over on the VIP channel. Again, for those of you who aren't familiar with the VIP channel, you can find out more information about that by going to my X profile. That's at Principix10 over on X / Twitter. There's a pinned post on my profile that gives details on how to sign up for the VIP channel. I'll also be posting a few plays on the X profile as well. So again, follow me over there at Principix10 and any kind of international plays that I come up with here over the next several days as we are in the international break. I'll be sure to post them there, so you guys are not going to want to miss out on those. And then if anything breaks tomorrow, I'll be on the show tomorrow morning as well, or Wednesday morning, I should say, depending on when you're listening to this. So Wednesday morning, if anything breaks, and before we go live here at 11:30 a.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday, I'll be sure to give some plays out as well for that. So just waiting on the lines to drop, honestly, for a lot of these friendlies.
Can't wait. And I can't wait for the US to get onto the European schedule. That will make things a whole heck of a lot
Yes,
easier too.
MLS. Yes, yes, yes. You know what? You know what? It's sorry, guys. I know this is a World Cup podcast, but I got to comment on that. I think it's the greatest thing that MLS has ever done because now you're going to get bigger names, more likely to come. Right? Before it was too difficult for them because they had to wait till the summer. Right? And you were talking about mid-season, and then then they come here, and they're out of shape, and it was just a mess. And I think now you're just going to get a higher quality of player that's going to be coming over competing, right? You're competing with the big dogs. You're competing with the European teams. You're competing with the rest of the world at the same time. You're not trying to recruit these guys at different times of the year. So I think it's a perfect move for MLS in terms of their growth. And then hey, how about Antoine Griezmann coming to Orlando? I think that could end up being a top 5 signing on the MLS, in my opinion. I think he's got a lot to offer, and I'm excited about that as well. But yeah, as far as the calendar, I think that's an outstanding move for the MLS. And then, not to mention, real quick, as we're talking about international, back to international here, the U.S., they got a couple big friendlies here coming up against Portugal and Belgium. I think those are great matchups here to test the United States and see where are we really as a nation here, as we are just a few months out from the World Cup, right? This is by far the biggest test that we have faced. Maybe since the World Cup 2022, to be quite frank. So I think these are going to be two very, very telling matches to say where is Pochettino put this U.S. team, and where are we in terms of our preparation for the World Cup. So hopefully we don't get embarrassed. I think that will set us back if we do. But if we're able to be competitive here, I think we'll look at that as a win.
Yep. Yeah, I think that the future, and we've talked about this before, the future of American soccer is looking better and better as the days go on. But let's recap our best bets here and get on out of here. Coming up on an hour on our show, and we don't want to keep anyone later than we need to. Unless obviously you have other things to talk about. In that case, shoot the shit.
I mean, if you give me the platform, I could talk about international soccer for 3 hours if you really want me to. But I don't think our listeners. I don't
Let's
think
save
our
it for
listeners will
tomorrow night's
listen.
show.
So there you go. We'll do a 3-part series, guys. All right, this is part 1. No, I'm just kidding. All right. So yeah, let's recap the plays here. So we'll start in the European UEFA World Cup qualifiers. Turkey, Romania. I like both teams to score here. -110. We're looking at Czechia and Ireland. I like Czechia on the money line here, +100. Wales and Bosnia. I think Wales gets a couple goals here. Team total over 1.5, +105. We're looking at Italy. The Italians here taking on Northern Ireland. I think both teams get on the board here. BTTS +135. Denmark hosting North Macedonia. I think Denmark wins this one by margin. I'll take them -1.5 here on the Asian spread at -120. Poland and Albania. This one's going to be a boring one. Excuse me, guys. Give me under 2 here at +100. Let's see here. We got Ukraine and Sweden. This one's going to be a high scoring one. Both teams are scoring over 2.5, +135. And then Slovakia, Kosovo, under 2 goals here. Another low scoring match, minus 115. And then for the interconfederational spots here, I like Suriname here. I think they're a better team than Bolivia. Give me Suriname on a draw, no bet, plus 120. And then finally, Jamaica. Disrespected Jamaica here, minus 2.5. Combo with -3, minus 111 on the Asian spread.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And I'm going to put Norway and Japan as like our combined kind of long shot tickets for the show. I think that's a fair
Yes, I
play.
am
We're
with you on that.
both
Yep,
on them.
yep. Sign up. I sign up on that entirely.
All right. I'm on Turkey -1 plus 100, Italy -1 minus 120, Suriname +1 minus 163. A 3-leg money line parlay: Turkey, Italy, and Jamaica for a half unit, minus 120. All these plays, by the way, are half units. I'm not going to even say it anymore. 3-leg parlay here: Slovakia, Kosovo, first half under 1.5. Northern Ireland not to score in the first half. They're playing Italy. That play I forgot to give out round 1. And then Ukraine, Sweden over 1. I thought it was over 2, was mistaken, but plus 103 for all that combined. Another 3-leg parlay featuring Albania team total under 1.5, Ukraine, Sweden over 1.5, and Jamaica on the spread minus 1.5. And you can get that at minus 103. And then finally, a 2-leg to qualify parlay featuring Wales and Czech Republic for plus 118. Yeah, I'm very excited to see how this goes, man. Close this out.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Solid looks all around, guys. Like you said, he said it just better for me than I can say it myself here. Excited to get into it here. Excited to see how this all plays out. I love international football. I've been very, very vocal about that, and it's like Christmas in March for me, guys. So let's hope we can turn these games into some money here. I'll get some cashing, winning tickets, and increase our bankroll, guys. So appreciate you guys tuning in as always. This has been the Only Bets Sports Betting Podcast World Cup Qualifying Edition for UEFA and Interconfederation. For Certain Bets, I'm Prince of Picks. We appreciate you guys as always. And until next time, we will talk to you all soon. Thanks.